Hello friends, another month and another sound check. However, this month we decided that we would shoot the sound check a little later. The magazine hit stands from 1st March. We've got a lot of feedback to our current cover. Reclaiming My Body Part by Part. Now, the phenomenal lines by the phenomenal poet Maya Angelou, her poem A Phenomenal Woman, makes to the cover. And this is our special issue for women commemorating the Women's Day. Now, the feedback has been largely positive, but there have been some notes of exception. Let's just read out one. There's this person who's written on Facebook, I'm not just my body, I'm my thoughts, ideas, dreams, politics, etc. As long as women define themselves by their body, men and patriarchy will be fine with it. It serves their idea of objectifying women. The moment women want to express themselves beyond their body, the issues start. Hence, I do not like this cover. Nothing new, nothing different. Could be soft porn. Suprita, is it soft porn?
No, certainly not. In fact, we want to take it a step further, and I want to say that, we actually want to say that women are just their thoughts, their dreams, their politics, irrespective of the body that they own. And but to do that, to wrench the body away from a woman's identity, you need to critically deconstruct the historicity and the politics of the body through all these years. And the first rule of any kind of deconstruction is to, first of all, establish and designate those symbols, those images, those normalizations, those internalizations that we are attempting to deconstruct and then eventually overturn. So the cover is just the beginning of the story, and it exactly does that. It designates those symbols. So just to elucidate my point, the beautiful hair on the cover, it leads to this bald Aishwarya Rai. It's that image, and then the slender waist on the cover, it leads to this particular this image of a protruding belly, which is still quite beautiful. And the image of the delicate hands, it eventually leads to this image of the hands of the sculptor Louise Bourgeois, taken by photographer Alex Angelder. So eventually, the whole idea is to undertake this journey of deconstruction and for the readers to go through the entire issue and to challenge their own ways of seeing and not to come to any easy conclusions, but to read all of this. And so there are some wonderful essays inside it which prove our point. And
so basically a series of writers have written about one specific part of the female anatomy. For instance, Pritha, you've written about the eyes.
So that particular piece is a montage of 3 different women and 3 different ways of seeing the world. There's Frida Kahlo, there's my own personal story of my own grandmother, and then the story of this village woman who is sitting in her village while people are attempting to, are just going to be breaking the Babri Masjid, and sitting in that burning cauldron, she speaks. So these are 3 different women completely redefining their relationships with the world in very, very radical ways. And you must read the story to understand these 3 different ways of seeing. And and this is exactly what we've done in all other essays also. And Shayan, if you talk about the essay on the legs.
The legs piece by Shubham Nag, it basically concentrates on female athletes and female sports persons. For instance, he writes about this athlete Amy Mullins. She is very interesting. She's participated in the Paralympics. Yet, why is it that when we read about her in the mass media, it's only her pink lips because she advertises, because she has modeled for L'Oreal? Why is it that only her pink lips that get all the highlight? Look at the various covers of Sports Illustrated. First of all, they hardly do stories on women athletes, and if they do, just look at the covers. Center spreads of nude female athletes. Nothing wrong with nudity, but do we see nude spreads of our male athletes? That's a question, an important question that really needs to be asked. So he's talked about a lot of sports persons, a lot of instances. He's talked about how female sports stars are covered in the media. You know, for instance, synchronized swimming. How is that portrayed in the media? So do go through that essay. Then also we could talk about Shashwat's piece on the vagina.
This is a very important piece, and through this piece, Shashwat it's a very bold take on the vagina, where he recreates the entire history of the vagina from the time when people used to shy about even mentioning this body part, and then how this body part has been the site for violence on women. And eventually he includes all kinds of diverse voices, includes queer approaches in this discourse about vagina, and eventually proposes an entire community of vaginas, which would eventually be challenging the prevailing power equations. So we have this image of a sculpture which is called the Great Wall of Vagina, and this is actually symbolic of the community of vaginas which we are talking about. And then you've written a very nice piece on the hair, Shan, if you want to talk about it.
The piece on hair, when I started writing about the hair, the biggest challenge was that what literary references should I talk about, because there are so many, there's a plethora of references so far as the long hair is concerned, so I decided that I would not write about the long hair at all. So as Pritha mentioned, that image of bald Aishwarya Rai and what is written below it, I'm still worth it. So basically, I met this interesting person, a mental health activist, and she cut off her hair because as a statement against this institutionalized practice whereby female inmates in health homes are forcefully tonsured so that their bodies can be desexualized, so that they can be defeminized. Now here is this mental health activist who is completely in control, a today's woman with short crew cut hair, very much in control and extremely sexual. Now, so I started off with that point, and then of course there are a lot of other references. The long hair does make an entry in the piece, but in a very different way, about which please read the piece. Then also the graphic short story on the breasts.
Yeah, it's a very interesting take, and we would not like to reveal how the breasts come in there, which you should read.
And outside of the essays, there are a series of
interviews as well, and I like the interview which you did with Shyam Benegal, and he focuses upon two of his very important landmark movies. You could talk about that.
Yeah, Bhumika and Mandi, with two very important films made towards the end of the 70s, when feminism was gaining its foothold in the country. Now Mandi is a very important film in Indian film history because it's a very unapologetic film, a series of sex workers. They treat their work just like any other work. There is no melodrama, they don't cry and they don't lament their fate. They just go about their work, they negotiate through the system, through the murky world of politics and religion, and eventually they get a good deal for themselves. Then the other film, Bhumika, and before we go to Bhumika, in Mandi has an interesting connect with Jawaharlal Nehru. Benegal mentions that in the interview as well. And the other film is Bhumika, where the lead actor, the protagonist, played by Smita Patil, she goes through a series of relationships to ultimately find freedom. And what about, you could also talk about the Daksha Sheth interview.
The Daksha Sheth interview with Nidhi has done, it focuses on the spine, and Daksha being a dancer, she brings that particular angle of looking at the spine, where she talks about the immense flexibility, the possibility of a woman's body through her spine. But then there's another piece by Purnam Mukherjee, and a different take on spine, where eventually the spine leads to the butt, and how he compares the woman's butt to the butt of a rifle and all the violence attached to that. So that's an interesting journey as well.
Yes. So basically that's it. It's a very interesting mix of essays, poetry, short stories, graphic short stories, interviews. So do go through the magazine, don't judge it by the cover, do the cover to make a certain statement which Pritha did talk about, and do write to us.
Absolutely, and do send us more feedback, and do trust us. This is an issue which aims to empower and not objectify at all.
Absolutely. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much.